Hello dear students, in this lecture we are going to study Woodward-Fieger rules for diene and enone compounds. Scientists Woodward and Fieger formulated some rules to calculate the lambda max value for diene and enone compounds. So we will see these rules in this lecture. So let's see. So Woodward-Fieger rules for calculating lambda max for diene and enone systems. So first thing is that we can calculate lambda max value for the compound using Woodward-Fieger rules taking into account its proposed structure. Suppose the structure is given, then with the help of the Woodward-Fieger rules, we can calculate lambda max value for that proposed structure. So this lambda max value is called as theoretical lambda max value by the calculation. So that theoretical lambda max value is for that particular structural formula. So again we can get the experimental lambda max value for the compound which is under the study. So that can be obtained by using the UV spectrophotometer. Thus we can have two values. One is called as calculated lambda max value and another is the experimental lambda max value. So we can compare calculated as well as experimental lambda max values, and that values will give the idea about the nature of unsaturation present in the compound. Suppose if the calculated and experimental lambda max values are nearly equal, then we can say that the proposed structure for that compound which is under the study can be correct. So there are Woodward-Fieger rules for dienes. So we will see now these rules. According to these rules, there are certain values for the compounds. So here, suppose parent homoannular diene compound is there, then we should take 253 nanometer as a basic value. Now if the compound is acyclic or it is having heteroannular diene system, then the basic lambda value will be 214 nanometer. So after getting the idea about the basic lambda max values, then we can add increments or we can add some values according to the situations present in the compound. Suppose if double bond is present extending the conjugation, for each extra double bond, we should add 30 nanometer. If the alkyl substituents or ring residues are present, then we should add 5 nanometer. If the exocyclic double bond is present in that compound, then we should add 5 nanometer. Now there are some groups here. These are also substituents. So if this acyloxy group is there, then there is no addition, that is zero addition. If the alkoxy group is there, that is OR, then we should add 6 nanometer to the basic value. If the halogens are present like Cl or Br, then we should add 5 nanometer. If Nr2 group is there as a substituent, then we should add 60 nanometer. If Sr is there, that is a thioether, then we should add 30 nanometer. Suppose there are also compounds where exocyclic double bond is present, but it is exocyclic to both the rings simultaneously. In this situation, we should add 10 nanometer to the basic value. So here one example is given. Actually, this example is there, but we will not get clear idea. We will see in the later slides the clearer concepts of all these things. So here, suppose this compound is there, and we by using Woodward-Fieger rules, we can calculate the lambda max value for that compound. Now this compound possesses heteroannular diene, therefore we will take the basic lambda value, that is 214 nanometer, And if we see the substituents here, or these are also called as ring residues, there are 4 ring residues or alkyl substituents. This one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 alkyl substituents or ring residues are there. And for each alkyl substituent or ring residue, we should add 5 nanometer. Therefore, 4 into 5, that is 20 nanometer. And one exocyclic double bond is there. So this double bond is called as exocyclic. Exocyclic means outside the ring. So this double bond is outside to this ring. If we consider this ring, then this double bond is outside to this ring. Therefore, we should add 5 nanometer. After summation or after addition of all these numbers, we get 239 nanometer. The lambda max value will be the 239 nanometer for this particular compound. Now we will see the terms involved in the Woodward-Fieger rules for dyne system. Now first is the acyclic or open chain dyne. So whenever such type of compounds are there, we should take basic lambda value, that is 214 nanometer. There are 2 examples of such type of compounds. Here you can see this compound as well as this one compound. So these compounds are called as acyclic because simply they are not having ring. They are open chain compound. So such type of compounds are, whenever they are present, you should take lambda value 214 nanometer. Now coming to the another system, that is called as homoannular dyne system. It means there are 2 conjugated double bonds present in the same ring. So this homo word is derived from the Greek word. It means the same. So 2 double bonds, that is the conjugated double bonds, are present within the same ring. So you can see these examples. In this example, the 2 double bonds are present, they are conjugated, and they are present in the same ring. Suppose this one compound, here 2 rings are there and 2 double bonds are present within the same ring, that is in the ring B. Now this another compound where 3 rings are fused with each other, A, B and C. But you can see 2 double bonds here, and these 2 double bonds are present within the same ring, that is the C. Therefore, all these compounds are called as homoannular dyne system, and for this we have to take lambda value, that is 253 nanometer. So coming to the next dyne system, that is called as heteroannular dyne system. Hetero, that is the Greek word derived from the Greek word, and it means different. So 2 conjugated double bonds are present in the different rings. So such type of compounds are called as heteroannular dyne system. Now we can see these examples, A, B, C. The 3 rings are there and they are fused with each other. But look at these double bonds. The 2 double bonds are present in the 2 different rings. So ring A and ring B possess 2 double bonds. They are conjugated, no doubt, but they are present in the 2 different rings, and therefore it is the heteroannular dyne system. Now see this another compound where 3 rings are there, A, B, C, and you can see 2 double bonds. They are conjugated, no doubt, but they are present in the 2 different rings, that is B and C. Similarly, you can see this compound also where 2 double bonds are present in the 2 different rings, that is A and B. So here we can see the conjugation is there, but the 2 double bond or the dyne system is present in the 2 different rings. So such type of compounds are called as heteroannular dyne system, and we have to take lambda value, that is the basic lambda value 214 nanometer. The next concept is here exocyclic double bond. So exo means outside. So whenever the double bond is present outside the ring, it is called as exocyclic double bond. So exocyclic double bond should be part of conjugation. Then and then we should consider it. If it is not a part of the conjugated system, then we should exclude the exocyclic double bond. So the first condition is that exocyclic double bond should be part of conjugation. Whenever the exocyclic double bond is present, then we should add 5 nanometer for each exocyclic double bond. There are certain conditions when the exocyclic double bond will be common to both rings simultaneously. Whenever such type of condition is there, then we should add 10 nanometer. Now there are some examples where the exocyclic double bond is present. We will see one by one. Now this compound is there, the ring A is there, and you can see this particular double bond. Now there is a conjugated system. You can observe this. 1, 2, and 3. Three double bonds are in conjugation, but this particular double bond is exocyclic to the ring A. So we can say that there is one exocyclic double bond for this particular compound. Now coming to this next compound, A, B, C, three rings are there, they are fused with each other. But now we have to consider the rings separately here. Now there are two double bonds are present in the ring B and C. Now we will see the rings separately. Now consider this ring only, that is the ring C, and you will find that this double bond, which is the part of conjugation, it is the exocyclic to the ring C. So this double bond is exocyclic with respect to ring C. Now this double bond, if you see this ring alone, then you will find that this is the exocyclic with respect to ring B. So this system is actually the heteroannular diene system, as we have studied in the previous slide. So but the two double bonds, they are exocyclic with respect to ring B as well as ring C. These are the exocyclic. So we can add 5 into 2, that is a 10 nanometer. Now looking at this another compound, this is the 6-membered ring A, this is 5-membered ring B, and you will find this double bond. Now it is the part of the conjugation. Okay, it is a part of the conjugation. This particular double bond is exocyclic to the ring B as well as exocyclic to the ring A. So we can say that this bond exocyclic to both ring A as well as B simultaneously. So whenever such type of condition is there, situation is there, you have to add 10 nanometer. So now we will take another example. That is this is the fused compound. A, B, C, three rings are fused with each other. You can see two double bonds, they are in the conjugation. It is the heteroannular diene system because the two double bonds are in the two different rings. Now if you see here the ring A, okay, this is the ring A as well as this is the ring C. Now this particular double bond is exocyclic to ring C as well as ring A. Okay, so it is also the, we can say, exocyclic to both rings A as well as C. So exocyclic with respect to ring C as well as with respect to ring A. So I haven't written here, but it is exocyclic to both rings A as well as ring C. So remember this. Then this is the another compound. Three rings are there, A, B, C, and you will find that this particular double bond is exocyclic with respect to ring B. So there is only one double bond which is exocyclic to ring B. So we have to add only 5 nanometer. But this in this compound as well as in this compound, you have to add 10 nanometer because this double bond is exocyclic to the two rings simultaneously. Now in this slide, we will see what is the meaning of extended conjugation or extra double bonds. So whenever there is extended conjugation or extra double bond, you have to add 30 nanometer for each extra double bond. So there are some examples. With the help of these examples, you can understand it in a better way. Now extended conjugation or extra double bonds means what? So that is the, here suppose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 double bonds are there. They are in the conjugation, that is they form their conjugated system. But these two double bonds are considered for the parent diene system. This is a cyclic compound, so therefore we call it as a parent acyclic diene. And remaining bonds are considered as here extra double bond. So 1, 2 and 3, these are the extended conjugation. So 3 double bonds are extra double bonds, and according to that we have to add 30 into 3, that is 90 nanometer. For each double bond we have to add 30 nanometer. Now consider this compound here, it is also a cyclic diene. Now we have to consider two double bonds for parent diene system, and only one extended conjugation remains there, because all these three double bonds are the conjugated, they are in the conjugation. So one extra double bond is present for this compound, this particular compound. Now we will see the ring compounds. Here you can see three rings A, B and C, and these two double bonds as well as this third double bond, they are in the conjugation, no doubt. They are in the conjugation. But we have to consider the diene system, and as it is the heteroannular diene system, so we have to consider these two double bonds for diene system, heteroannular diene system, and only one remaining bond is there, that is the extra double bond. So only one extended conjugation is present for this compound. Now you can observe here another double bond, but this is not part of the conjugation. You can see uh, single bond, then again single bond, and therefore this bond, double bond, is isolated double bond and not the part of the conjugation. So we cannot consider it as a extended conjugation. So remember this, the conjugated system must be present there, then and then we will consider these double bonds. If the double bond is not the part of the conjugated system, we shouldn't consider it for the calculation. Now this is another compound. Now here the conjugated system, if you trace it, 1, 2, 3, 4, so these four double bonds are there and they are in the conjugation. The parent homoannular diene system is there. So two double bonds are present in the same ring, therefore we will consider it as a homoannular diene system. And after excluding these two diene, there is a two double bonds, there will be only 1 and 2 extended conjugation. So extra double bonds are only 2. So according to that we have to add 13 to 2, that is the 60 nanometer in the parent value, parent lambda value. Now in this slide we have to see the alkyl substituents and ring residues. So there will be 5 nanometer for each alkyl substituent or ring residue. Now look at these examples. So this is the acyclic conjugated system and three double bonds are present. So to get the idea about the alkyl substituents, what you have to do is you have to trace the whole entire conjugated system. So this is the conjugated system, starts from this carbon, this carbon, this carbon, this carbon, this carbon, and ends at this carbon. So this is the entire conjugated system. Now you have to see at every carbon if there is substituent or not. Now in this particular, at this particular carbon, there is one alkyl substituent. You can see here. So this is the one alkyl substituent. At this carbon, there is no substituent. At this carbon, you can see this is the alkyl substituent. At this carbon, there is no substituent. At this next carbon, there is no substituent. At this carbon, there is no substituent. At this carbon, you can see two substituents, two alkyl substituents. So there are total four alkyl substituents, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So total four alkyl substituents means you have to add 4 into 5, that is 20 nanometer according to the Woodward-Fieser rules. For each alkyl substituent you have to add 5 nanometer. As there are total 4 alkyl substituents, you have to add 20 nanometer. Now coming to the next example, you can see again the acyclic diene system, and you have to trace the diene system. Okay, you have to trace the entire conjugated system. So it starts from this carbon, to this carbon, to this carbon. So this is our conjugated system. Now you can see every carbon. So at this carbon there is no substituent. At this carbon there is no substituent. At this carbon you will see there is one substituent. So this is the alkyl substituent. This is the alkyl substituent. At this carbon also you can see this one as well as this one. So total three alkyl substituents are present in this compound, 1, 2 and 3. So we get total 3 alkyl substituents. For each alkyl substituent you have to add 5 nanometer. So according to Woodward-Fieser rules, 5 into 3, that is 50 nanometer, you have to add into the basic lambda value. Now again you will see this another compound. This is the ring compound. Heteroannular diene system is present. You have to trace that conjugated system fully like this. So the conjugated system starts from this carbon. It starts from this carbon, then next this carbon, next this carbon and this carbon. Now we will see at every carbon, at this carbon there is a alkyl substituent. So whenever the alkyl substituent is present in the ring, it is called as a ring residue. So this is the one ring residue. At this carbon you can see this is the substituent. This is the substituent. This is another ring residue. At this carbon you will not find any substituent, and at the last carbon you will find another substituent. So this is another ring residue. So there are total 3 ring residues for this compound. So according to the rules we have to add 50 nanometer. 3 into 5, that is 50 nanometer to the basic lambda value. So this is another example. A, B, C rings are present. It is the heteroannular diene system. Now we have to trace all these conjugated double bonds like this. So this dotted red line, it indicates that the conjugated system is traced here. It is traced, and then you will find the substituents, the ring residues. This one, for this carbon, this one, for this carbon you will get this substituent, okay, and for this carbon you will get another substituent. So there are total 4 ring residues. 4 ring residues for this compound. 4 into 5, 20 nanometer. You have to add 20 nanometer in the basic lambda value. Then another example is this one is homoannular diene system. So this is the quite extended conjugation. You can see it starts from this carbon and we can get this extended conjugation up to this carbon. So this is the chain where the conjugation is present, and you have to trace all these double bonds. And now you can see, you can observe at this carbon, this is the ring residue 1. At this carbon there is no ring residue. At this carbon there is no ring residue. At this carbon you will see this one. So this is the ring residue. For this carbon this is the ring residue. Okay. This carbon there is no ring residue. For this carbon there is no ring residue. For this carbon you will get ring residue, and this one is also the ring residue. So in this way we will get total 5 ring residues for this particular compound. So 5 into 5, that is 25 nanometer. You have to add 25 nanometer to the basic lambda value. So in the previous slides we have seen the Woodward-Fieser rules for the conjugated diene system. Now there is another example where Inone system is there, and for the Inone system the Woodward-Fieser rules are slightly different. There are some changes that has been made for these rules. Now we will first see what is the meaning of Inone. So Inone is the combination of two words, in plus on. Now in is the suffix used for the alkenes. So whenever double bond is there, we use the in, means propene, ethene, butene, like that. So in means here double bond. and ON is the suffix used for the carbonyl or ketonic group. That is, we know that propanon, butanon, ethan, butanon, propanon, hexanon, like this. So ON is used suffix for the ketonic group. And the combination of these two words, that is in plus on, makes the enone system. So whenever you can see the compounds, you will find their ketonic group, carbonyl group as well as double bond. They are in the conjugation. So this one is the ketonic group and this one is the double bond. So double bond plus ketonic group, and therefore this compound is called as enone compounds. They are called as enone because of the presence of ketonic group as well as double bond. So whenever such type of compounds are there, then we have to consider the nomenclature. We have to give the positions for these compounds according to the Greek alphabets. So there are alpha, beta, gamma and delta position. So the alpha carbon is called as that carbon which is next to the carbonyl carbon. So this is the carbonyl group, this is the carbonyl carbon, and next to the carbonyl carbon, that carbon is called as alpha carbon. The next carbon, that is called as beta carbon. The next carbon is the gamma and that carbon is called as delta carbon. So according to that, we have to give the nomenclature for the conjugated system. It starts from the carbon next to the carbonyl group, that is alpha carbon, then comes beta, then comes gamma, then comes delta, like this. So this is the cyclic enone system. This one is the acyclic or open chain enone system, and you will find there also alpha, that is this carbon is next to the carbonyl carbon, so it is alpha carbon. This one is the beta, this is the gamma, delta, like this. So these alpha, beta, gamma, delta, these are very important because according to the positions of the substituents, we have to add the increments for that particular substituent. That we will see in the next slide. So these are the Woodward-Fisher rules for conjugated enone systems. So whenever there is acyclic or hexacyclic ring, you have to add 215 nanometer. If the 5-membered ring is present, you have to add 202 nanometer. If the enone system possesses aldehyde group, then you have to add 207 nanometer. If the acid and ester enone system is present, you have to add 197 nanometer. Now there are increments according to the situations present in the compound. For each extended conjugation, you have to add 30 nanometer like that of the diene system. So same rule is here. For each homodiene component, you have to add 39 nanometer. So if the homodiene component is there, if the ring is there and two double bonds are present within the same ring, then in such condition you have to add 39 nanometer. So it is somewhat different here. If the double bond is exocyclic to one ring, add 5 nanometer. That is the same rule as that of the diene system. And this is also the same rule if the exocyclic double bond is common two rings simultaneously, then you have to add 10 nanometer. Now increments for substituents. So here you have to see the positions alpha, beta, gamma, delta and above delta. So according to the positions of the substituents at which carbon it is present, then you have to add the that is this value appropriately. Suppose if the alkyl group is present at the alpha carbon or alpha position, then you have to add 10 nanometer. If it is present at the beta position, you have to add 12 nanometer. If it is present at the gamma, then you have to add 18 nanometer. The same for the delta. And if suppose the conjugated system is long enough and above delta, then you have to add only 18 nanometer. If alkoxy group is there, at alpha position add 35, at beta 30 nanometer, at gamma 17, at delta 31, and if it is above delta, then you shouldn't add anything. Up to the delta you have to add only. If the OH group is there at alpha 35, at beta 30, if the OH group is present at the gamma position, then you shouldn't add anything. It is the zero addition. If it is present at the delta, then you have to add 50 nanometer. And above delta, there is no addition. If the thioether group is there, if thioether group is present only at the beta position, then and then you have to add only 80 nanometer. So for alpha, gamma, delta or above delta, there is no addition. If the thioether suppose present at the alpha position, then you have to add 0, that is there is no addition. If it is present at beta, then and then only you have to add 80 nanometer. Then for chloro, alpha 15 nanometer, for beta 12, gamma, delta and above delta there is no addition. Bromo, that is 25 for alpha. If it is present at the beta, add 30 nanometer. For acyl oxy group, at alpha position add 6. If it is present at beta position, add 6. And again, if it is present at the delta, then you have to add 6 nanometer. These are the amines, NH2, NR2, NHR. If these groups are present at beta position, then and then you have to add 95 nanometer. For alpha, gamma and delta and above delta, there is no addition. So these are the Woodward-Fisher rules for the conjugated diene as well as enone system, and using these Woodward-Fisher rules we can calculate lambda max value theoretically, and this theoretical lambda max value we can compare with the experimental lambda max value, and we can get the idea about the unsaturation present in the unknown compound. So that is the big advantage or big significance of the Woodward-Fisher rules.